virtual water. So because most of us don't relate, the blue color represents liters, but because we don't relate to liters, so I calculated it, translated into gallons. So the black numbers are number of gallons of water it takes to make 1 glass of milk. It takes 9 gallons of water to make 1 cup of tea. Next one, please. And it takes over 1,000 gallons of water to make you 1 slice of, this is only, how big do you think is 30 grams, 300 grams? Really, really, a gram is really tiny, right? Next one, please. So even if you are a vegetarian consume cheese, a lot of them consume a lot of cheese. It also takes a lot of water. Next one, please. Now this is, I've ruined a lot of people's lives with this. That's only 100 grams of chocolate, tiny little square. And why do you think that is? Because in that piece of chocolate, there's also what? Milk and all, sugar, right? All that, right? So huge water footprint for a piece of chocolate. Next one, please. Sugar, actually, 3.4% of the world's water goes to growing sugarcane. So sugar is huge, huge water footprint. Next one. So there's no such thing as a no impact man. If you want to be a person who lives in this world, have no impact on this earth, you need to commit suicide today. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The minute we started making fire, we're having an impact on this world. So we're not saying no impact. We're saying what? Low. Minimal impact. How do you do it in such a way that would what? That would actually make it possible for us to survive, for our species to survive, right? Next one, please. Don't wear shoes. It's a pair of leather shoes, yes. Next one, please.
Shower with a bag.
Be eco-friendly. A brand new pickup line, huh, Joe? Let's save the world together. Okay, sorry. Next one, please. Who's wearing a pair of jeans? Tommy. Next one, please. So even piece of paper, a single sheet of paper we're talking about, right? And next, please. And if you look at the world, this is a distribution of world's water footprint. And obviously the greens are better and the red is not so hot. So where do we sit? We win. We're a 4-lemon country. Okay, next one, please. And so world, globally, our nation leads the world. And if you look in our country, our state leads the world, leads the state, leads the country. Since the country leads the world, so if the state leads the country, then we are leading the world, aren't we? Right. Next one, please. So we win again. So that was total withdrawal. Here's domestic withdrawal. Next one, please. So while this comes no surprise then that our local rivers are also running dry, right? So this is Hoover Dam. This story, again, is etched in stone. How is it etched in stone? You can see the rocks are different in color, yeah? And that is over 100 feet in less than 10 years. You can actually go online and see this number, like they update it like every day, and it's really scary. You just keep it dropping down like crazy. So this is less than 10 years, over 100 feet. Prediction is that there's a chance that it will be completely dry by 2014. So we're not talking about your grandchildren. We're talking about you. Next one, please. Now, as we talked about earlier, most of the world's water is in the ocean, well, it's on the ground, therefore not very useful to us. And with all the stuff melting, it's actually more going to be water in the ocean, not useful to us. And we've looked at how most of the fresh water, like Andrea said, is in the ground, right? And that really represents a very small fraction of the total amount of water. And who remembers why is it that we have more fresh water in the ground than in all the lakes and the rivers?
Billions of years to get it there.
Well, maybe not billions, but long time, right? So this is accumulated a long period of time. Some of the water we use right now are hundreds of thousands, million years old, yeah? Thank you. Next one, please. So here is a map that shows, so remember when we talked about how you take out the water in the ground, you leave behind empty space. If you take it out too fast, it's not being replenished. The ground, that's what? Caves in, right? We call that subsidence. And that is a serious problem, not only just in our country, but worldwide. So worldwide, we're having a problem with overpumping groundwater. And then you can see that's pretty well scattered throughout our country. And once again, we win, California wins. We again lead the country in the amount of water we pump out of the ground. We're awesome, yes. So if you worldwide, you look, most of the water we use are used in agriculture. Next one, please. So that is again reflected in California. So we take a lot of water out for livestock. And next one, please. And irrigation. Once again, we lead the country. Now, this is actually a research done by the New York Times. What they did is they went around the world and they took pictures of families. What you're seeing in front of you is the food they ate for that entire week. Right? So these are two families from the US. So I want you to take a very close look at this. Two families from the US. This is the food they ate for that week. Next one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate all these three slides back, and you should keep getting to see that. So this is Italy and Mexico. And the next slide, please. So I want you to just go through those three slides over and over again. Just run them, like give them a few seconds in between, okay? So go backwards and then go forwards. So talk to each other. What did you get out of this? What is that saying to you? So like Micah, please share with me what you share with me.
I noticed that Chad and Maui, they didn't have a lot of like liquid, like water and stuff to drink versus these other.
So what you're not seeing is that bottled water or some kind of beverages, right, in their, what they consume, right? Thank you very much for bringing that out. But what is also interesting about that?
Their food doesn't have.
Now just stick with that water for a minute. Yes.
In Mexico and Italy, you can see more big bottles of water, but in America, there were very little, if not at all. Like it was just Coke and.
They drink soda, right? Yeah.
Well, I think if a family of 4, or in the other case, like 8, is capable of living off that small amount of water, it just shows we drink a tremendous excess of liquids.
Good job. We're drinking a lot. Other piece is that in America, we have excellent supply of drinking tap water, yeah? In Chad, do they have really good tap water supply? And yet, they're not buying bottled water. We are buying bottled water. Think about that. Does that make sense? Does it make sense that we have good tap water and we're spending money on bottled water? It's ridiculous. So thank you for pointing that out. Really good. Thank you. What else? What else? What are you getting out of this? Yes.
We, in our discussion over here, we noticed that in, like, I guess the first world countries, whatever, like America, everything comes in a package. Like, everything is packaged in some sort of, like, plastic and then cardboard with a logo and all of that.
Yeah, and then it's
which also means that it's coming with preservatives, too, because the food is supposed to last for a long time for some reason. We don't want to go to the market that often, whereas, like, other foods are fresher, and so clearly they're okay with going to the market every day or every other day.
Thank you. That's a really important point, because each time you're seeing packaging and processing, you're also seeing what?
Transportation.
You're seeing transportation. You're also seeing the consumption of water and fuel and energy and other resources as well, right? So you're seeing that. That is another way how our footprint is so big, right? So it's not so much that we're eating more volume, it's how we're eating it, right? And like Nolan pointed out, in fact, that way we're eating is actually not good for us, not healthy. Thank you for waiting. Come.
Tommy, could you go to the last one, please? In Chad and Mali, I noticed that they're eating like a lot of like rice and beans and things like that. They don't really have much water that they're consuming, but a lot of this food takes water to even make.
To cook it, yes. So this is what I'm saying, that they're not, it's not that that's all the water they're using, but they're just not using bottled water like we do. And obviously everybody else is not showing what we're using from the tap, right? So the point is, they don't have good drinking water, and they're not buying bottled water. They can't afford it, right? So they're using a lot, eating a lot of rice and beans, and like some of you point out, they're actually healthier. So this is why I have a lot of problem when people come to me and say, I can't afford to eat healthy. It's like, oh, please, don't give me this, you know? That's just nonsense. Okay, thank you. Thanks for waiting. Over.
Kids have cabinets, kitchens, small kitchens, and people don't have a kitchen. They have firewood right there. They live in tents.
Thank you for bringing that out. So it's a whole package. It's not only what they eat. So their footprint is much, much smaller because they don't have big houses, their own equipment, big kitchen, and all that, right? So thank you. So yes, David.
In America, there was like less people that consume a lot more, and then this was like more people that consume a lot more.
Good, very good observation. Huge. And one of the things that makes it look like so much is all the packaging also, right? Very, very good. Thank you. Yes, Artur.
Oh yeah, that right here in Chad and Mali, their food is like, I guess, local compared to other.
Very, very good. This is very clearly local, right? Clearly it didn't ship from someplace else. Again, that's a reduction again in consumption of energy and water, because every time you use energy, you are also using water. Good job. Yes, Jamie, thank you for waiting.
The amount of sweets and like sugar-based things in the American household, as even compared to Italy and Mexico, because Italy and Mexico they have a lot of carbs and stuff, but not like sweets. There's no candies. There's no like breads or cereals or anything like that. It's just fruit.
Very, very good observation. Very, absolutely. And just to underline that, remember we talked about growing sugarcane actually uses 3.4% of the world's water, right? So that again is why our footprint is so huge. And is that actually good for us? No. Thank you. Yes, Maritza?
And the meat. There's a lot of meats in the American families, and to the cows and the chicken feed, it's a huge production in the United States that takes up a lot of water.
Very good. So the higher you eat up on the food chain, the bigger the footprint. Okay, thank you. Now I want to share with you the next few slides, and I want you to look very carefully and tell me what you see. Next one, please. Next one. Yeah. I want you to look very carefully. What are you seeing? So biocapacity is the country's ability, the land's ability to support us, right? Right? So it's decreasing, and our consumption is increasing. And is this a way that we can keep up? No, why not? Because we are actually consuming at above the land is able to support us, yeah? Okay, next one, please. They're catching up.